Hi everybody, we're back with part 2 for my beginning Simutrans tutorial. If you watched part 1, you saw that we built a train line from Bolton Waite to Aidenfield. We still have plenty of money in the bank and we want to expand our network any way possible to start making money. Now, I have surveyed this area and I have seen that there are not a lot of close by cities that would be easy to build tracks to that are worth it to connect to. All of these cities are fairly small, so it's not really, I don't think we'd make a lot of money, and we'd probably end up losing money if we built a train track to them. So what we want to do is we want to think of other ways to make money, and we are connected to this ocean right here. So we have the Great Sea, which has lots of other cities on it. And I think it would be a good idea to connect it with sailing services. So we can go to the water transport tool. We have the option for two different types of shipyards. We are in the 1850s, so steam power is now just becoming popular. So we have the option for a shipyard that is for steamships and sailing ships. The price difference you can see is not that much. It's only 4,000. However, the ships themselves that are powered by steam are much more expensive than sailing ships. So we are going to want to start off with the sail ships. And there's not like a huge, factor that makes them much more worth it to use steam. They're a little bit faster. That's it. So sail, we'll build a sailing dock, sailing shipyard somewhere around here. So let's pick area. Let's just do it right there. It can be on any tile. It can even be built on river tiles or canal tiles. And we need to find a place in our main city to build our port. But first, let's look at the ships that are available to us to use. So on the ferries, we have ships. We have these big clipper ships. We have all these goods transport ships, and we have barges. Barges can only operate in rivers and canals. We are using the open ocean right now, so we need to use a ship that can use the ocean. So I can't point to it because you have to be clicked on. You have to have your mouse hovered on it. But in the lower right-hand part of the screen, you can see that it says must use, may use, and may use. So it must use high clearance under bridges, which means the bridge has to be two levels high at least for the ship to go under it. And it may use the ship canal and medium river, and it may use large ship canal, large river. What it does not say is that it can use the ocean. That's kind of like just default, that it can use the ocean, so it does not have it labeled. So let's click on it. We bought it. These are very cheap. They're only $228, which is just very cheap for the service you're getting. So we'll build one of those. Now let's look at where we can build our dock here in the city. So we have all these ocean tiles. Those are good. See, the ocean kind of just comes in here. It's like a long river. Okay, all these bridges are high enough. See how they go up. Here's the ocean. It's on level -1. The bridge is on level 1. So that's a difference of 2. So it can go under it. This bridge is good. It's difference of 2. And then you can see that the ocean ends right here, and then it starts into this river. So remember that this ship, it can use a ship canal or medium river. So let's click on this river, and it says, oh, it's an upstream medium river, navigable, which means that our boat can use it. And it goes all the way over here. It looks like these bridges are tall enough. But then it comes to here, and this is a upstream small river, so it cannot go this way. And this is a stream, which is also cannot be used by any ships. So this is as far as it can go, and we have a slope tile right here. So let's build what we want to use is build this passenger canal quay right there. And then we want to build I guess that's not necessary right now, but this has a capacity of 64 passengers, so that's where we'll start off with. Now, let's look out here and see what opportunities we have to build a port. So this city right here is right on the ocean. It's close to the downtown area. And we have these slope tiles, which are what we need to build our dock on. So the canal quay cannot be built on ocean tiles. It can only be built on river tiles or canal tiles. To build a dock in the ocean, you have to use this passenger dock, and you have to build it on a slope. So build it right there. They're kind of expensive, and the upkeep is kind of high, but that's the only thing that can be used. So there's our first dock, our ship, schedule, here to here. Promote to line, start. Now, what you're going to see is we're not going to be getting much service right as of now. We'll probably just get a couple people. One of the reasons for that is that our dock is not connected to the rail line. So if I had had the foresight earlier that I wanted to connect the dock and our train station, then I would have built the train station to it, or I would have built the train line to the dock. That's kind of behind us. Oh, we're getting a little bit of service. The boat, the ship is kind of slow. It only goes 12 miles an hour, so it's really slow. But they're very cheap. So what we can do is we can build a couple more, because it looks like some people do want to use this. So we'll copy it maybe 4 times. We'll build 4 of them, and they're all going there. Now, what we want to do is we want to space them out so they're not all arriving at the same time and not all leaving at the same time. Because one of the great things about Simutrans is if you have frequent service, then more people will use it. So the way we do this is we go to our boat line. We can click on all lines. We have our train line number 1. Line number 2 is our boats. So we go to edit line, and we will click, have this, our first dock selected. We'll click wait for time. And let's say every hour and a half a boat will leave. So when all of those boats come back, they will all wait here, and every hour and a half, one of them will leave. And what's also interesting about the boats, about those boats, is they carry passengers and mail. And I think that that's something that we want to focus on in this tutorial. This part of the tutorial is using the mail service, because that's also a very good way to make money early in the game. Because one, for passengers, the length of the journey in time and the amount of time they have to wait for the train are big factors in if they will use your service. So if you have frequent trains, then you will have much more people using your service. However, with mail, mail doesn't really care about the time. As long as it gets to its destination, it's fine. It doesn't really matter this time of the game. I mean, it's 1851. Back then, mail could take months to cross the ocean. So mail isn't a big factor at this time. The amount of time that mail has to wait is not a big factor. So look, all our boats come back. You'll see waiting for schedule. So every hour and a half, one of them will leave. With our passenger dock that we built in the other city, it can hold 85 passengers and 85 mail. The passenger quay that we built in our city that we're looking at right now, this does not have any capacity for mail. So to give it capacity for mail, we will want to build a post office. We'll build a post office right there, and then see it gives us another little bar that's yellow, and that'll indicate how much mail is waiting. There's probably not going to be any waiting at this time. And so that gives it the capacity. And see, it has this big yellow tile footprint that surrounds it, and that shows the area that is covered by it that mail will come from. I'm not exactly sure how this mechanic works, because with when you have the passenger trains, it also has the same station footprint area. And one thing I really like about Simutrans is that people will not automatically use it just because it's in the footprint. People will only really use your train station if it's within 15 minutes of them. And one way you can see that is you can click on a building, stops potentially within walking distance, and it shows that Bolton Waite Town Railway Station is 3 minutes and 42 seconds away. So people from this building will use this a lot. Now, and I'm probably not gonna, explain this perfectly, but this game is very well designed, and one of the reasons I like it so much is that some passengers are commuting passengers. So that means that they work in a building, like one of these buildings, this workshop. They live in this part of town and they work in this part of town. And they will use your station if it's within 15 minutes for commuting. Another thing is long trips. So passengers within the catchment area will still use your station, even if it's like this building right down here. They will still use your station, but they will only probably use it for long trips that they do not take every day. So commuting passengers take your service every day, and then long distance trips will take your service every once in a while. So like if you click on one of these buildings right here, it says visiting trips and commuting trips. So visiting trips are the long distance ones that people use every now and then commuting trips are trips used every once in a while. And you can see the stats for how often they commute and how often they visit. So I know I got kind of derailed when we were talking about mail, but that what I think derailed me was we were talking about how the station catchment area. So I think anybody within this footprint who wants to send a mail, they will use this post office. So what we want to do is we want to build another post office downtown, because look at this area is super dense. There's lots of people. The way that you do this is you want to find a place to put the post office. So I think we do not want to delete any buildings, and we have this empty tile right here that is adjacent to this road. So what we can do is we can go to the road tools, build the staging post. This is a place to park the horses. And then we'll build a post office right next to it, because the staging post has a very small catchment area and the post office has a very large one. So it covers this whole area downtown. We'll put it right there. It's expensive, but I think it will pay off for us. This is my strategy of late, is using the mail service to make additional money. And now we need to build a railway stables. Or sorry, not that. We want to build a coaching stable. And we need to find like a stub end road. And we want to kind of put it in a place that's kind of central, in a place that we can easily see, because it kind of blends in with everything. And we also definitely do not want to put it in a place that we're going to want to delete later to make way for our train. So let's put it right there. It's kind of on this hill right there. You can easily see it. And we have the option for buses, which is, as of now, just the post boy. And we have trucks, which are horse teams like these. You can use them to haul goods. And you also have these individual horse pairs that can be used to haul larger stagecoaches and wagons, and even past the early passenger buses, like a horse omnibus. But we won't be using that right now, because it does have the option for a trailer that can hold 95 mail, but we will not need that capacity at this time. All we need for this at this time is the post boy. So we'll just click on the post boy, schedule. We'll have him start here, and we'll have him deliver mail to the staging post right here, which is connected to the city dock. So now he can take the mail from downtown, he can connect it to the dock, then the ships will leave the dock and connect to this dock right here in Kelton High. So we can look at our network so far. We go to Map, Show Network, and here's our network so far. And we can change the freight types that are shown. So passenger service right now is between Bolton Waite and Aidenfield, and that's a solid line indicating it's served by a rail service. And then this dashed line indicates that it's a boat service. And you can see that they're disconnected right now, but that is not really necessary to connect them at this time. And here's our mail service. So it shows that the mail starts here. We have this network right here, and we want to probably connect Aidenfield to this at some point, but we'll go over that later. So let's see. What's another place that we can send a ship to? over here we have this huge city called Dentonweight, and that might be a good opportunity for us to send a ship to, because it's very big. The downtown is right next to the ocean. The only thing is, I wish we could build a port right here, but it's currently a lake, so the ship cannot cross there. We can, of course, we can lower these tiles. That's very expensive. We can build a canal. That's also very expensive at this time. I don't think it's worth it. So let's just build a port on this side. So we'll start serving this with a ship. And one thing that we should consider is the maximum journey time for these, or the range. So you can see the range on this is 50 kilometers. That means that it can only travel 50 kilometers before it needs to arrive at a dock to like refuel or whatever, or bring on goods, water. Sorry. So what that means is that it cannot go further than 50 kilometers, so it needs to stop at a port at least every 50 kilometers. And I think that this distance is more than 50 kilometers, so what we can do is we can build just ports in the middle of nowhere along the way for them to refuel. That is going to be quite expensive, because each port that we build is like 1,500, and it has a maintenance cost of $40, and that's every month, 40. What we can do is we can click on ships, and we have an option for these larger sailing ships, and you can see that the range is unlimited. Now they're a bit more expensive than the ferry, but they will not have to stop at any of the ports along the way. They can just go directly between the two of them. And I think that's what we're going to start off with. We can just pick this small one, the schooner. We're going to go to... So now we've bought the ship, and then we can fill it with places for passengers or places for goods, like cabins or like racks to store the goods. Ferries, we have two options. We have the passenger berths or the mail hold. And we want to do at least one mail hold, because it can hold 250 pieces of mail. That's quite a bit. If we fill the whole thing with mail, 1,750, which is a lot. That's like more than you'll ever need. Unfortunately, it'd be really cool if you needed all that. But so we just need one place for mail, and then we can fill the rest of it with passengers, and it can hold 150 passengers. Oh, but one thing I did not consider. Oh, okay, it can use the medium river. Okay, that's good. So remember, this is a medium river. This can use a medium river or a ship canal, but it cannot use anything smaller. So schedule, start there. It's going to sail out. It's going to sail all around here. It's going to arrive here. Now, probably passengers aren't going to be really using it that much due to the long journey time. So most of our money will probably be made from mail between the two places. So let's see how this works. We started it. And it might be a while before it starts to show that we're making that people are even using it. So I don't have my hopes up a lot about that. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to connect as many cities as possible to our network so they can all send mail between each other. So I think another place let's just build a dock right here just for the mail. Remember, our train doesn't have a way to hold mail at this time. Build a dock there. I think from here to here is less than 50 kilometers. So let's delete the road tile. You always want to delete road tiles before you have to delete buildings if you're given the option. Build a dock there. Is it worth it to build a dock here? I don't know. Because, see, it's not really that close to the city, so I don't think we need to do that at this time. Boy, that's it. There's not a lot of other places. We might as well build a dock here because it's pretty close to the ocean, even though it's quite a long ways between these 2 points. I don't know if that's less than 50 kilometers. Oh, we can see our train line's doing quite well. When you have these See how in here it is a purple line straight with an arrow on top? That means that the station is overcrowded. So it means that there's more people waiting at the station than there is capacity for, which is a good thing because it means your service is popular, but it also means that when it's overcrowded, no one else will be arriving at the station. So we want to build a new station building to hold more people. So let's just go with the stonemason building. We'll build that right there. And see, the overcrowding indicator disappears. And you can see in here, you can click on it, it says we have 159 spaces for people. We can hold 159 passengers. And then you can see who's waiting for what service. So it says, so you can do sort waiting list by line, and it says how many people are waiting for what service. So we can see 96 people are waiting for the 4 line. And let's look in our lines. 4, oh, that's our schooner. So you can follow me. It looks like it's coming, it's getting close to, arriving here, where we'll be picking up lots of passengers. Okay, so our service, I wasn't as optimistic as I should have been about this. So we'll just follow it. And it picked up 88 passengers and 28 bundles of mail. That's pretty good. But let's go back to what we were doing earlier. We're going to want to start a new service with connecting our main city with those new docks that we just built. So we'll start right there. Next stop here. And you can see on the right side of the stations in the line creator, it shows you how many kilometers are between each station. So it's 19.5 kilometers between these 2 stations. We'll add another station right there. I don't understand how to read this, but it shows you the difference in between them. So 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, I think okay, so it shows the difference between each one. So none of these, so between 4 and 5, station 4 and 5 is a difference of 47.4 kilometers, under 50, so it should be good to go. Is that the last station we built? Yes, or the last dock. And every month, if a station's overcrowded, it will give you a notification that your station is overcrowded. So just to bring that to your attention so you can fix that. So we have that. We want to mirror, promote to line, schedule, starting on dock 1. Let's do 8 ships to start off with. Remember, they're very cheap, so it's fine. And we'll go to here, and let's have 1 ship leave every 2 hours. Because these towns aren't that big, I think every 2 hours is, fine. Okay, so no one's using, there we go. There's 24 bundles of mail. Okay, that's good. What should we do next? You can see one thing to look for is these large buildings. So this is the Trinity College, and it has a visitor demand of 830, and it has 364 jobs, and a large mail demand as well. So, I'm sorry about that. That was my neighbor's drag racing. So the visitor demand is very high, 830. So we want to connect this to our train service at some point in time. It looks like it'd be very hard to get there without having to delete a bunch of buildings and roads, and the terrain is kind of jagged, so we're probably going to be raising and lowering land. But this would be a very good destination to eventually connect to because of the high visitor demand and the jobs available. So we should consider thinking about that later. Let's see. Well, maybe that's enough for right now. So I'll probably make one more video. So stay tuned. Thank you.